Hello and welcome to Straight Dude Date Night, a show where two straight dudes go on a date and they review it. My name is David Stallings and I am one of the straight dudes.
And I'm Ricky Rivera, the other straight dude.
Today, Ricky, you are bouncing in your seat with excitement over what we just watched. Continuing a new little series or episode kind that we tried last week. We're doing it again, the Certified Banana.
Certified Banana.
A Certified Banana this episode.
Think of like Rotten Tomatoes, but not like Rotten Tomatoes, because it's more original than that.
That's right. It's a certified banana. Just a straight up good old fashioned banana.
Why would you want it to be rotten? That sounds awful.
I don't want it to be rotten at all.
Certified rotten.
I want
it
a
to
good
be a banana.
Solid banana. That's all I want.
Banana? Not yet.
Not yet. No. We'll summon you when we're ready.
Sorry, the minions got crazy. They're ready for the rating.
They love these certified banana episodes, and we hope you do too. Last week we did a movie that I picked. This week we did one that is definitely, Ricky, your favorite. Why don't you tell us?
Yes, sir. This week, funny enough, same actor.
Yeah, we seem to have a bias towards a particular actor, apparently.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yep, great actor.
Really shows the range that he has in this movie, The Wolf of Wall Street. It's crazy to go from Inception in 1 week, where it's very serious, dramatic, with one director that can make him look a certain way, to Martin Scorsese making Leonardo DiCaprio look like an absolute menace.
Yes.
It's insane. And I think the craziest fact about those two movies is Leo didn't win the Oscar for either. It was a bear attack movie where all he had to do was just be fake hurt.
I feel like I get it with Inception that you wouldn't win like a big acting award off of that. The big thing with that movie was the story.
And the effects, for sure, the effects.
But watching this movie, I've never seen this movie before, Wolf of Wall Street. Watching this, I am blown away that he didn't win the best actor for it.
Yeah.
He's like this is, I mean, it's just unhinged is what this movie is.
I think they were scared to give it to this movie because of how much content is in it.
They didn't want to set the precedent of doing more of it.
Yeah, they were like, please, we don't condone. Hollywood was like, we don't condone this, we swear. We'll give it to The Revenant. That just blows my mind that The Revenant just felt like it was long overdue. Just give it to him at this point.
Right, because
he had The Great Gatsby the same year The Wolf of Wall Street came out too.
Well, same year, really?
I'm pretty sure it was either the same year as this or same year as Inception. Either way,
because I love Great
also
Gatsby.
Well deserved.
Bro, because I was thinking about it, like of all the Leonardo DiCaprio movies I've seen, the one that I know is completely forgettable is The Revenant. Like I only
100%.
remember one moment of the movie, and it's like I couldn't tell you anything else about it.
He's getting attacked by a bear.
He's the one scene you remember is him getting attacked by a bear. That's it.
We should watch that one. That maybe we'll go back and find why he deserved it.
We're gonna just watch every DiCaprio movie.
Certified Leo.
Yeah.
No, The Wolf of Wall Street. I'll do the synopsis for this.
Yeah, you do it this time. It's your movie.
It's gonna be great. I hope people really appreciate the ones you do, because I'm gonna tear this apart.
I've done it close to 40 sometimes, and let's give you. This is your movie. Go for it, Ricky.
Here we go. Wolf of Wall Street, 10 years old. If you haven't seen it, that's too bad. You should go watch it. It's on Paramount Plus. It's also like $3. Basically, it's about this guy, Jordan Belfort. He is a up and coming stockbroker in New York who just wants to provide for his family. Starts off very tame with his wife. He's a very good guy. He takes public transit to work. Ends up joining a firm that is a little bit more crazy than he's anticipating. But you know what? He's going to ride the wave. He's going to ride it out and just grind. Cut forward a little bit. Boom, he's doing really well. And then the market crashes. So what does he do? He looks for another stockbroker job because he's had a slight taste. Then he learns about penny stocks. He's learning that we can just screw over the poor and give it to me, the rich. The penny stocks are for the guys, the dumpster people. That's what they call them, the dumpster people.
This is incredible.
Yeah. Steal an easy $4,000, 50% commish. I can make a living off this. Sure enough, Jordan's a great salesman is all he is. So he just grows the company, does it all. It's not fully legal. And then he ends up growing the company into Stratton Oakmont, where he realizes he could be selling these penny stocks to the rich people rather than stealing from the poor people. He could steal from the rich and give to the rich and make himself richer. Then we just go into a big debaucherous couple years of his life being addicted to any kind of drug, any kind of female. You see his wealth grow and his ego grow, but his morals kind of deteriorate, loses his wife, gets a new wife, upgrade.
Upgrade.
He upgrades wives. He does all this stuff. Obviously, the FCC, the SCC, the FAA, the health inspector, the FBI, everybody's investigating him because we kind of know he's doing some sussy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Then he ends up just digging himself a hole because he lets his ego get too big and the people around him get too big. And then we get to see the downfall of it. All of this based on a true story, what actually happened from this man. And he's a psychopath.
Yep.
That's pretty much it.
I mean, there's...
Look, it's 3 hours long.
It's 3 hours. That's pretty much it. But also, there's so much. I think you set it up pretty nicely of here's the main concept.
Yeah, you get to see the rise and fall of a sociopath, top tier salesman, money hungry man. Money drug hungry man.
Bro, I don't understand when you learn about people who are addicted to drugs and are like doing it constantly. I don't understand how after consuming so much that we just watched, how you don't just die immediately from it.
Gosh, bro, it's wild.
I kept watching. It was, every time they kept taking more and more, was like, they should be dead.
Yeah,
right.
No, they should be dead. Oh yeah, the Quaaludes. He's like, I take the morning Quaalude. When he goes through his drug list, it's insane how many drugs this dude was on back then. And I've heard interviews from him where he talks about like, oh yeah, those are just like mild extents. Like I did drugs all the time. There were times I think he talked about his bachelor party. They don't really show this in the movie. They show the plane to the bachelor party, but the actual bachelor party itself, he like blacked out and just went berserk on drugs.
I just cannot fathom that. So Ricky, you chose this movie. You've told me before many times this is your favorite movie. You've read the book. You've listened to all the interviews. Why are you so enamored with this movie?
I think it's crazy to me that there was a man who lived a crazy life like this on Wall Street that just not flew under the radar, but kind of flew under the radar. I mean, it was a semi big deal, but like, dude, if you heard about this happening today in a business on Wall Street,
yeah,
it would be headline news. It would be a very big deal. It would not last more than a week.
I was thinking about that. It's like the whole movie takes place in the 80s. Yes. Right? And I was thinking during it, I'm like, something like this could never... I mean, maybe it is. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, yeah, it totally could be, obviously. But
the idea of a huge company on Wall Street with hundreds of people engaging in constant drug abuse and debauchery and degeneracy every single day, with so much money floating around and stealing money from people... It was so bizarre to me that this was real.
It's crazy. Like there's just so much to the movie that I really love. I mean, I love seeing like you really do get to see a full growth from this man from beginning to end, because at the beginning of the movie, he's just kind of like, he's eager to get onto Wall Street and make a name for himself. You know, he's thinking like, I just want to make like $100K a year. Yeah. And then we go all the way to where we're making like $20 million in an hour. Yeah. To then being so drugged out of your mind that you're crashing your car with your child. Oh. Like there's just so many ups and downs for this guy. And he gets to have a full circle moment where he comes back down. And even now to this day, that's all he does. He just teaches you how to be a businessman, but in the proper way. It's just being a good salesman.
Yeah, just how to be a good salesman.
Yeah, that's like how his thing now is, just trying to be like a good salesman, which granted, he was a great salesman.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get to do all that stuff if you're not a good salesman.
Yeah, like the movie it just shows all the debauchery. But at some point, obviously in real life, they were working at times. Like there were moments where we had to actually work to grow the business like this.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's crazy to me that that's just the life he had.
I thought it was crazy too that I really enjoyed this part of the movie that when they were about to start narrating or talking to the audience of like, okay, here's the stuff going on. Here's the economy stuff that you need to know. And then he's just like, never mind. I don't want to tell you about this. It's boring. Yeah. But for me, he started talking about all the IPO stuff that they needed to basically be the ones to bring a company public. And they did that with Steve Madden. I just couldn't believe how far we have come by that point, that this awful company managed to finagle their way into performing an IPO or doing an IPO, however you're supposed to say it. But, oh my gosh.
Dude. I love it. It's just like, who cares? All they need to know, we made a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yep. That was definitely like such a good choice of just being like, you know what? Look, we could talk about this all day. It doesn't matter. I'm going to make so much money. I'm not gonna know what to do with it.
Right. I did struggle watching this movie a bit. I don't know if you did your first time watching, but like for me, I had no idea how the movie was gonna end. Oh, yeah. I didn't know what the moral was, if there was gonna be anything. I didn't know if it was gonna be a good or bad ending. I didn't know. But watching the whole first like 2 hours of the movie, there was a constant thought in my head of like, I wish I was rich. I kept thinking this.
But he's like, wow, wish I was rich.
Not like I want to do all the stuff they were doing, but just like
cocaine, huh?
I wish I could buy a yacht. Like just random stuff. Just starting to feel bad.
I could buy a yacht.
He's talking to the scene where he's talking to the FBI agent for the first time, and he's trying to nonchalantly bribe him.
Yep.
And he's like, I mean, I could help you.
I like to give back.
I like to give back, and I know your life sucks because you're riding the subway every day. Like, and how much money are you making? Ooh, sucks to be you. Part of me was like, stop talking.
Yeah, dude.
I hate listening to this.
That's how it is, bro. He was so cocky.
Yeah.
And dude, when he starts throwing the money off the boat, he's like, hey, look, it's your yearly salary just sitting in my pocket. Dude, he throws the lobster at them. It's so good.
I kept having that thought come up every now and then. I'm glad how it ended of like, and here's his downfall. And I was like, okay, yeah, money's bad.
Yeah, that's what he says too at the beginning. He's like, here's my biggest drug. It's not the drugs, it's the money. It's the money is what makes me do all of this. Like, there's no other reason. I just love the movie, man. There's so many different fun things about this movie that just fascinate me. I love Leo. He's amazing.
Yeah.
But I think I was texting you about this though. I think honestly one of my favorite things about this movie is Jonah Hill. Jonah Hill puts on a performance in this movie. And it's wild to me because he took a huge pay cut for this.
Yeah.
He literally took the bare minimum that he could take with his, I don't know what acting guilds or how that all works.
Yeah.
But the bare minimum Jonah Hill could make is $60,000. And that's what he took.
Yeah.
And what's crazy to me was just so he could work with Martin Scorsese. Scorsese was like, yeah, you have the role. I want you in the movie. And Jonah Hill was like, no, I'm going to audition for it, just like the normal process would be. Like Joseph Gordon-Levitt auditioned for that role. There was plenty of other actors, but like, imagine Joseph Gordon-Levitt doing that.
Why do you... hold on. Martin Scorsese already told Jonah Hill, hey, you have the role, and Jonah Hill said, I'm going to audition. Yep. That's dumb.
No, he just... well, because he loves Martin Scorsese so much, he was like, no, I want this to be proper. I want this to be done the way, like I've envisioned auditioning for you. Let me please audition. Like,
was it like, I want to put on a show for you? I'm going to... please just don't change your mind at all, but let's do the audition process anyway.
I think he just wanted to, like, know that, like, he earned the role rather than, like... Dude, there's something about Jonah Hill for this that just... everything about this was just a passion for him. He took the bare minimum. And let me tell you this. Leo made $25 million on this movie.
I believe it, yeah.
$25 million. So... and he's the second character, Jonah Hill. He's the second. Yep. He's in all the scenes with Leo.
Yep.
And he's making $60K compared to 25. I mean, still, these numbers are huge. $60K, I'll take $60K any day to do a role. But compared to what he could have been making, is unreal.
I don't see more power to him for the decisions he wants to make, but I don't see what the benefit is of you've already been named for the role.
Mm-hmm.
You're the lead who you are co-starring with is making $25 million. We have the budget.
Get you 10.
Yeah, we could do 10 million. I don't really see what you already got the role, and they're telling you they're gonna pay you so much money, and you're the one saying, "No, pay me $60K."
Yeah, pay me
that.
$60.
That seems
it's crazy,
weird
huh?
to me. You can have both. This is a passion project, and also let me take the money that you're offering.
Dude, it's unreal. The dude I don't understand why he did it. But that was his choice. He said, you know what? I just want to work with Martin Scorsese. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all I want to do. I just want to be a part of a Martin Scorsese movie. I don't care about anything else.
Yeah.
and he did so much work too. He had to talk with the fake teeth. I was reading that it took him 3 months to get used to the lisp. To get rid of the lisp,
Yep.
he would have to sit there and practice for 3 months before he could even show up on set and do a line. Because he had a huge lisp talking with it.
Oh my god.
Dude, I'm not putting 3 months in. I have the role. But no, Jonah Hill, dude, is one of the best parts of this movie. Every scene he has is so chaotic.
Yes.
You don't know what you're gonna get. Oh, hey, everything's going fine. This is how we're going to smuggle money across the country. Nah, what about my money? My money's coming soon. Chop, chop, dog.
Causes a whole fight with John Bernthal.
He was the downfall of Jordan the whole movie.
Yep.
It's awesome.
Just such a wild character through. I had this thought during
Donnie.
it. Yeah, I had this thought during it of this is all based on a true story, right? And it's way more accurate than it should be.
Oh, yeah.
But it made me, for some reason, think of Air. Of everyone involved in that story, in that movie, is very eclectic. We talked about. And before a really cool, a good ending, a good story.
Yeah.
And then in this one, it's they're eclectic and they're degenerates. And these are all the most flamboyant people we can think of, who are all pretending to be very professional and just horrible.
Yep.
I don't know why that thought came to me during it, but I was that's just a weird comparison to pull.
Yeah. The movie is wild. I'm happy you've seen it now, because now I can make references to it.
Yes.
Man, where to even begin? So the Matthew McConaughey, that's the crazy thing. When you finish that movie, you kind of look back and go, oh yeah, Matthew McConaughey was in it 2.5 hours ago.
Yeah.
Very long movie, by the way. This movie is 3 hours long. Does it need to be 3 hours? Definitely not. I think there's a lot of scenes we could easily cut out to make it shorter, but I enjoy the debauchery. So for me personally, that's fine. I love it.
When I was watching it, Ricky, I've known you for a while, and I've known since we met that this was your favorite movie. I feel like knowing you, I feel like the reason that this is your favorite movie is it's unhinged, which I view you as unhinged a lot.
Yeah.
When I don't know if it comes through on the podcast for people listening, but knowing you, I know that you're wild, not to the level of this movie, but that was I was like, oh, I get it. I get why this is his favorite movie.
Dude, sometimes when I watch that movie, I think to myself, I'm like, dang, I really was born in the wrong era, on the wrong side of the country. Because this would have been something I would have easily done. If I had grown up in New York and
you would have ended up on Wall Street doing
100%. This would have been me. I would have been going crazy doing what these guys are doing.
Oh my god.
So thank God shout out to my mom and dad for
not
birthing me in Arizona, keeping me here in tame. In the Wild West, the tame West.
That's so.
There's a lot.
I know it's a lot of energy in the stock market and stuff. I've never thought of you like that, but I could see it. I could see it.
Oh, I would have so much fun. I'd stay away from the stock market and all that stuff because I know myself. I'd get way too into it. That's why I never look at it. I legit. I'll do everything I can to avoid it because it all is so fascinating to me.
I agree.
It's just gambling is all it is.
It is.
Bro, people are always saying oh, we should invest in stocks and it's safer than gambling. No, it's gambling.
It's gambling.
It is gambling to an extent. It's literally just gambling. You're going to put your money into something and it'll pay off or it won't. I put my money on a blackjack table. It pays off or it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's the same.
Bro, have you ever invested before?
No, not seriously. I think I signed up for Robinhood and got like a free stock and was like looking at it. But I'm telling you, I've stayed away because like I know I'd get hooked on it,
Bro, when COVID started, my dad and I talked about it, and we were like, hey, we just got this extra money. Let's invest some of it. And so we both opened up our own accounts on, I think it was with E-Trade. And I put in like $500 on it and just started. Every day I was at work, I was essential. And so at my computer, I had a tab open to keep up on the stock market the whole time. And over the course of 2 months, I turned that $500 into $4K. And then proceeded to, as the summer rolled in and there was like another variant of COVID that came out, new release, it was like literally watched it go from 4K to 0.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that was fun. Yeah. I could have taken it out, but I didn't. That was cool.
It's gambling. Like, I really don't get why people try to like say it's something different. Like, I know that you think that, you know, you have some control or whatever in these things, but at the end of the day, COVID hits, all that money's gone. Yeah. One company could just have a terrible opening, gone. Yeah. You know what I mean? Tesla, Elon could smoke a blunt on the Joe Rogan podcast. Your money in Tesla, gone. Dropped. Yeah. You can't trust it. Like, it's just, that's all it is. So,
well, especially right now as we're heading into a confirmed recession. Welcome to our economy podcast.
I think that's another thing I love is like the economics of it in this movie. It's just so wild to me. Another movie I really love is The Big Short.
Oh, I love that movie, dude.
Big Short, like, I know this is going to sound like a really weird comparison, but these two movies feel like similar in the sense that they just deal with the money and like betting against people. Mm-hmm. So I love The Big Short. Also one of my favorite movies.
I think one of the key differences I think is interesting is that The Big Short, though, they really tried to lean into, we're going to explain what's going on.
Yes, they did. Yeah.
We're going to explain because no one understands. With Wolf of Wall Street, it's kind of like, it's kind of implied of what's going on from the very beginning. Like, really we need to explain a little bit, but hey, there's probably theft involved. There's probably insider trading. That's all you really need to know.
Yeah. What he's trying to, I think part of it too is he's also like, I can't say too much.
Right.
Because I'm not going to give you all my secrets.
Yes.
Why would I do that?
Right.
I can easily tell you what's happening. I'm not gonna because I'm not allowed to.
Mm-hmm. Man. How do people function on drugs, though?
Oh my gosh.
How do you run a multi-million-dollar company with all of your executives fully high on cocaine?
Cocaine, man. I guess it just drives people wild. I mean, it's an instantaneous kick. These are like, so that's the thing is it's not like it takes a effect. It's not like it has like a delay. It's just like, we're in it. Let's go. Yeah. And that's what he uses to like counteract all the other drugs he's taking. That's crazy to me that he's using cocaine to counteract the Quaaludes and the.
There's a scene during this scene. I was like, what on earth am I watching? Where where Leonardo DiCaprio is fully like inebriated. He's going into a coma. Meanwhile, Jonah Hill is choking on a piece of salmon, and like Leo then sees on the TV an episode of Popeye where he's eating the spinach to become strong. And so he gets out his vial of cocaine to become strong and then save Jonah Hill.
Yeah.
It's just like, what on earth?
Yeah, because Jordan Belfort talked about when he did cocaine, it felt like he was Popeye. Like that was like what he felt like. That's how he describes it. It's like, I feel like I was Popeye with the spinach. Like, I feel like I've just unlocked a superpower.
This is something I hope I will never understand.
No, same. I only know enough just to understand what's going on. Mm-hmm. Dude, like, so the drug abuse is insane, but you know, it's funny when they were doing the movie, obviously not doing cocaine.
Oh, dang it.
But they were snorting vitamin B. They were doing vitamin B, but Jonah Hill, the man who took the pay cut, the man who, this is a passion project for him, the man who also had to, you know, expose his lower regions for the movie, also got hospitalized for snorting too much vitamin B.
Oh my gosh, dude.
The dude was was put through the ringer for this movie just to like make the bare minimum and be with Martin Scorsese.
Wasn't the when he eats the goldfish? Isn't that a real fish? I remember seeing an interview where he talked about it, and he's like, "We got to do this quick because otherwise Peter's gonna get involved.
Yep.
It's gonna go in my mouth for a half a second, and then I'm gonna spit it out.
Yep. This is what happened.
I get it. As I'm not gonna get over the Jonah Hill taking a huge pay cut for this. That makes zero sense to me.
I don't know, man. He just loved it.
Of like, I'm going to bust my butt for this movie. I'm going to do the most work. I'm going to do more work than God himself for this movie. And yeah, you can barely pay me. Don't worry about it.
Barely pay me. Yeah.
Just pay me enough so I can get through the year and so I can cover my rent. That's it. That's all I need. I'm just not going to get. What an ironic choice to make for a movie that's all about making money.
Yeah, right? Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jonah Hill, the things he did for this movie are unreal. It's wild.
Yeah.
I got more fun facts for you for the movie. There's a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of it's improv. Everything with Matthew McConaughey is essentially just improv. We could start there from the beginning of the movie. That scene where he's like
yeah, he's pounding his chest.
Yeah, so apparently that's actually his personal like warm up before he does any like acting. And Leo saw him do it one day and was like, we should do that on set. That'd be funny. So when they started that scene off, he just started doing it. And there's a point where you can see Leo. He kind of just like looks into the restaurant, kind of like awkwardly of just like looking around. That's actually him looking at Martin Scorsese thinking like, do I go with it? And then Martin Scorsese was like, just nodded at him and was like, yeah, keep going with it. And so he just was like, okay, I guess I'm going to go ride with this. And just went and just started doing it with him. That was totally genuine moment right there. Hilarious.
This is why you got to know improv as an actor, dude. Improv's fun.
Yeah.
That is wild, though, that is Matthew McConaughey's like normal warm-up thing is
yep. Yeah, which makes sense because Matthew McConaughey, him doing that makes sense. I mean, look at The Gentleman. You can't tell me he didn't do that before every scene he did in that movie.
Yeah. My goodness, dude. Yeah, that was an interesting start to have him in there.
Yep. It was just, like essentially like the tone setter for the whole movie, right? Yeah. It's like, because everything up until that point, we just kind of know, like, obviously he turns into a psycho. But how did he start? He starts pretty humble under somebody, you know? That point right there is the turning point. That is when Jordan is like, yeah, I have this primal instinct for just money. Like, it's like a lion trying to get their dinner, but instead it's Jordan trying to get money. Like,
oh, by the way, so when the movie started, it, like, you know, when a movie starts and it shows all the production companies involved, it flashed the Stafford. That's what it's called, right? Stafford.
The Stratton Oakmont.
Stratton, sorry. It flashed the Stratton Oakmont thing with the lion. It was like, it popped up right after the production companies, and I was like, I've never heard of them. And then it plays the commercial for them in the movie, and there's a lion walking through, and I'm like, we're in the movie.
Yeah, we're in the movie now.
Did not know that.
Yeah, no, real thing he did. Yeah, it's crazy.
So I had a question.
Yeah.
Because
I'm the professional here.
Of course.
Please ask away.
Well, I wanted your opinion on this. I think we talked a little bit about it before the podcast. But, you know, at the beginning of the year, it's dumb to me that this movie keeps coming up. But it's such an interesting comparison. So we railed Babylon when it came out.
Yeah.
Right? It's 3 hours. It's rated R. It's over the top with drugs and nudity throughout the whole thing, and we railed it.
Mm-hmm.
But with Wolf of Wall Street, which has the same things, why do you think? Is there a difference here?
Yeah. So it's funny. I actually was thinking about all this when we did the Babylon episode, but I was like, he's never seen Wolf of Wall Street, so this is just going to be me versus me.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. No, it's good.
We'll go back and do the Babylon episode over.
No, it's good because I did have Wolf of Wall Street vibes from Babylon. Like watching it, you can't not think this is just a knockoff Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
The reason why why Wolf of Wall Street I think is more successful than Babylon is I think the story generally is a lot more intriguing.
Yeah.
Than Babylon is, and B, with Babylon, it's too all over the place. Like there's 3 main characters and then we have 2 side character storylines. So that's a total of 5 storylines I have to follow that all intertwine at some point.
Yeah.
But it's just too many stories to be putting into a movie. If this was like a TV show, we would have had more time to expand into that for Babylon, whatever. But 5 character storylines is way too much.
Yeah. I definitely think that it being, or the drugs and nudity truly feeling like it's important to the cohesive story.
Yeah.
Is a huge element of this movie.
Oh, for Wolf of Wall Street?
For Wolf of Wall Street, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, the drugs and all that actually relevant. Like,
yeah.
Back then it was just, it's only relevant because everybody was doing drugs and stuff like that back then. And honestly, the only person it really affected was Margot Robbie. Mm-hmm. She was the only person that the drugs really mattered for. Because it ruined her story arc. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Like, because Brad Pitt's story arc, I mean, yeah, sure, he was just whatever with the drugs, but like it's not like that really defined his. His was his mental health. Yeah.
I do think, because there's a key difference in how the obscenity is portrayed in each movie, where in Babylon, we have a full 15-minute orgy party scene.
Yep.
And there is no escape. The main characters are having conversations as this is going on around. You as the audience member have to indulge in this in order to watch and follow the movie. With Wolf of Wall Street, every time it came up, it's one of those things where like if it pops up for a moment, and if like your kid walked in real quick, you go, hold on, close your eyes, cover your ears.
Yeah.
And then it passes in like 15 seconds, or you could just skip it.
Yeah, usually you could just skip.
And like, and I'm gonna use this word, and I feel it feels odd to me, but there's a modesty in only using it for short bits, where like it's important to understand context in the moment, but it's not essential.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, and that is a huge difference between Babylon and Wolf of Wall Street. I think another thing too is like a lot of the times in Babylon, I just felt like what we were watching didn't really move story along, right?
Yeah.
Like with Wolf of Wall Street, sure. Like there's a few times where, I mean, I'm trying to think honestly of a scene where it's not really essential to the story, other than just like you're just seeing their life.
Yeah, I mean, this movie, I would struggle. I struggle to look back and think that there was a conversation that wasn't intentional. This movie felt, the writing in it, all of it felt super intentional.
Well, and even the scenes that aren't necessarily pushing the story, like one that comes to mind is when Jordan wakes up and he's in his bed and the Duchess wakes him up with water and she's just throwing water on him.
Yeah.
And he's just pissed and yelling at her. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily moving the story along, but the acting is superb.
Right.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Like just watching those two argue, like just Leo. Like it's crazy. That's Leo. That's your Inception boy.
Uh-huh.
That's the dude who's explaining a dream within a dream going, "You son of a..." Like, he's just screaming like a child. Screaming like an absolute lunatic.
Dude, the acting in this was just awesome.
Yeah, and it's so good, and it's so cool because a lot of it's just improv too. Like some of these moments are just real moments.
Yeah, and Margot Robbie. So I'm pretty sure this was her breakout role, right?
It is. Yeah, it is.
Because she killed it.
Anything she was in before this was not big enough.
Okay, I thought that was the case because I looked it up when they were filming this. When it came out in 2013. She was 22, which means filming it, she was 21. She is a phenomenal actress.
Yeah, anything she's in before this wasn't really worth anything. I never heard of it. This was her breakout role.
Like, I was very stunned watching her throughout this movie of being like the over-the-top diva brat when she needed to be, and then also really going into owning the like I'm a model kind of thing.
Well, this is the reason why her roles in every movie she is the same because of this. Like even in Babylon, it's like, you know what I mean? Like her attitude's the same.
Yeah.
In all of her movies, but this movie, she's not the main point.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of like my biggest problem with most Margot Robbie movies now is like the movie just relies on Margot Robbie killing it. And granted, she is killing it.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't just have her acting be what saves it. Like Babylon, the only great thing, Margot Robbie, Brad Pitt.
Right.
But like they really, really relied on Margot Robbie carrying that movie.
Yeah.
Same thing with like Suicide Squad. They're like Margot
Suicide
Robbie's
Squad,
here.
Birds of Prey.
Yeah. All of it was just like, it's Margot Robbie, go watch it. Promise, it'll be good. And it's like, yeah, she's great, but everything around it sucks.
Yeah.
And now I feel bad for her because she's in a terrible movie. But like Wolf of Wall Street, she nobody at the time. Think about that. Like at the time, nobody knew who Margot Robbie was. They didn't really care. Mm-hmm. So she had nothing to lose doing it. She was like, I have everything to prove, nothing to lose.
Yeah. Which I mean, we talked briefly about this as well, but everything to prove as well. I watching a movie with this much degeneracy in it, so to speak. I mean, that's how they described it in the movie.
Oh yeah, it's
like
all
drugs and alcohol and sex and nudity, all that. Yep. When it comes to nudity, it always, with movies, it always comes off just over the top to me. When it's like it seems weird to say, but every time that Margot Robbie had to be on screen and she was fully nude, it's just like, did we really have to cross that line here? You know, like this is one of the starring actresses in the film. Did we really need to do that? Like it comes off sleazy to me. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, she chose to do all of the nudity in that movie.
Okay.
That was all like, so she had I think we talked about it a little bit, but she actually had a modesty clause written in with her contract, and that was from Martin Scorsese. Was saying like, here's your modesty clause. That scene where she comes out fully nude, she was just gonna be wearing a robe. Mm-hmm. But Margot Robbie insisted on doing the scene nude because she was like, this character, like her only form of value is her body. Yeah. Essentially. So like, this is the only thing she brings to the table is her body. I'm just gonna do it fully nude. And they were like, you don't have to. This is like, if you want to do it nude, who am I to tell you to not? Like, there's already so much nudity in this movie. Right. I guess if you want to, that's up to you. But you don't have to. It's in your contract. You could sue me for it. Yeah. They're telling you to do it. And she's the one who literally was like, I'm going to do it.
I just, because I can understand her, like, if, as long as it was her decision on it, like, then, okay, then it's not as big a deal. But there's a part of me that's like, even if as an actor, like, well, the character would do this. Yeah, sure, but like a lot of the guys in the movie will probably have had their manhood out constantly throughout the movie too, and the actors are not choosing to do that. You know what I mean?
Except for Jonah Hill.
Except for Jonah Hill in one scene.
He doesn't care, bro. He lets it fly.
Yeah, for $60,000 instead of multi-millions.
I mean, $60K.
No, your co-star is making $25 million, and you're making $60K off of it. No. That is not how much it costs to immortalize me being naked on the screen.
I don't know. I mean, you know.
No, I don't.
I consider it.
For $60K.
I'm just saying.
For $60K, and it's gonna be seen as a huge movie.
Yeah, but I'm in the same scene as Leonardo DiCaprio. Heck yeah, bro. $60K, I'll do it for free. It's Leo. No. See, this is where we differ, David. This is why I was born in the wrong era. Bro. I'm trying to hang bread.
Bro, as like I get it as an actor, like coming to the conclusion that my character would do a thing. But also, and I have the same opinion with method acting too. Like, there is still an element of acting where I am still not the character. I am still a human being. There are repercussions to the things that I do. Like, do I want to immortalize myself like this?
Yeah.
Do I really want to do that? I'm starting out my career. The character would do it. Is it worth it? Because we could also just they want to put me in a robe. Could I just be in lingerie? And it conveys the same thing.
You know?
So that was just something that came up for me watching it. Like, any of these movies that are like extremely obscene like that usually is a thought I have of just like, did we really need to do that? And, you know, as long as everyone was consensual in it, then who cares? But
Yeah.
it's immortalized forever. You can see that wherever. Like,
Yeah. I don't know, man. If they asked me to do a full nudity scene in front of Leo, I'd probably say yeah.
for how much money? For how much money,
We don't
Ricky?
need to talk about that.
For how much money, Ricky?
We don't need to discuss
For
it.
the 60K?
But sure, yeah, I'd take 60.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, 60, you know? Whatever. It's fine. That's your fault for what? I mean, you're not going to enjoy it. You're not going to enjoy what you see, but I'll do it.
No one
60K, yeah.
No
heck
one
yeah.
cares about a fully nude man. Okay? It's
I don't know.
It's not appealing. It's not attractive. No one wants to see that.
Dude, that's the other thing. You see, Leo showed his butt.
Yeah, great.
Okay, so, you know, he's doing his part in the nudity aspect for this movie.
Yeah, that's definitely the same thing. Yeah. Just showing his butt the whole
He
time.
showed his booty cheeks.
Yep. The candle in it.
Yeah.
There were a few like random one moment scenes that were like they were so fleeting, but they were like, I don't know if I needed this part.
This is how the book is written.
Really?
When you read the book, it feels like you're watching it. Like you can he's so all over the place, just cussing. Like it's just so all over the place, but you're just so enthralled. You're just like, what is going on? Now, granted, this movie, the hard thing about this movie is I probably wouldn't recommend it to a lot of people, only because I'd have to know your level of sensitivity before recommending it.
Yeah.
In that aspect of like nudity and drugs and all that. Because obviously there's people out there who don't. I mean, I worked at the movie theater when this movie came out. That's probably why I have another connection to it, because I loved it when it came out.
Yeah.
We had a lot of complaints, obviously. I mean, I literally had a senior who came out cussing me out and was like, I can't believe you put nudity in this movie like that. And I was like, I'm sorry, sir. I had to do it. I had to put that in there.
Yeah, they were paying me $60K to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, like people were like mad at me. And I was like, yeah, my bad. That's my bad. I should have put a sign on the front door, you know, saying, hey, boobies in there. like sorry. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so I get it. It's not everybody's cup of tea. But I think there's just so much more to it. Like there's just, every scene is just like, you want to watch. Like I couldn't watch this movie while working. I was trying to work and watch it in the background, and I caught myself just not working.
Yeah.
Because there's just so much happening always, and it's just so fun to watch.
Yeah, I was planning on like, okay, I got work to do. This movie's 3 hours long. I'll just put it up on the second monitor. We'll get it done. As soon as it started, I'm like, this is not a movie to watch while I'm working. This is not happening.
It's just like, yeah, because you just look at the screen, something's happening, something random is happening.
Which is great. Like that is a sign of a solid movie where it's compelling enough that I was like, I closed all the other windows on my computer and was like, okay, this is what I'm doing for the next 3 hours. And I just sat and watched it. Yeah. Like it was so enthralling.
Yeah. Everything about it is just so crazy. And what's even crazier is how much of this happened. Like the real Jordan Belfort has said, like they've asked him, you know, like, hey, what was there a lot, like the movie, there's no way that's all real, right? Like a lot of it's a stretch, right? Like the no sex sign from 9 to 7 or whatever. And he's like, no, all that was true. The only things that he's said that were dramatized for Hollywood, like that just did not happen, was the helicopter landing on his house. They landed it near, and he wasn't the one doing it, but he was drugged up when it happened.
Oh my gosh.
So that didn't happen. And the throwing the little people as darts. They only talked about it. So the scene where they're talking about it is what actually happened. They never actually threw them. So those two things is wild to me that he said those are the two things that they made up. Everything else, approved.
How is this a real company?
That's what I'm saying.
How is this a real company?
Even you know, Donnie eating the fish happened. Even like he did that there, shaving the girl's head for
oh my gosh,
her boob job happened. Yeah, all that happened. Him walking to the office of the monkey, he's like, we had animals in there all the time. We had all sorts of random things happening in there at all times. Yeah, like all this stuff happened.
You know, one of the things I thought about during this movie, when they show the moments of everyone in the office, I guess I don't understand how Wall Street is, if this is currently how it continues, but I don't understand how anything gets done, because when they would show everyone working and they're just they're all on simultaneously on the phone and screaming the whole time.
Yeah.
Screaming and punching each other and just jumping on their desks. Meanwhile, there's one guy in the back trying to have a call.
Yep.
And I was like, how can anyone hear anything?
So, yeah, well, that's the thing. I always thought too, was like, this is so over the top. But when you really think about it, it's like every single person in this office knows they are a criminal.
Yeah.
There isn't they never hide that. Mm-hmm. Like even in the beginning where he first opens up the company, he talks to one of the newspapers and they do a botch job on him. They're like he's doing sketchy stuff. These are not real stocks he's selling. Mm-hmm. And then the next day he shows up, line of people at the door wanting to apply for a job.
Yeah.
These people all know that they are doing wrong things. That's why the office is so crazy and degenerate. It's because they all know they're doing legal activities. This is just a big crime organization that was just getting by. It was so crazy.
You know,
for years too. Like the movie takes place over the span of like 6 years or something like that.
Yeah. What lends itself even more, I love that you use it as like it's a crime, like it's a syndicate. Like
yes, it is. Yeah.
Because when they finally start getting investigated and every single person in the company gets interviewed, everyone is on the same page of no one recalls anything.
Yeah, I don't recall that. Oh, yeah, that stuck. Oh, you recall? I don't recall that.
I don't recall it.
You can hit
How
that
about,
Danish?
How about everything with the Steve Madden IPO? I don't recall a single thing about that.
Oh,
Just seems like no one at your company recalls anything. Well, that's how it is.
yeah. Huh? Yeah, I don't recall that.
Like what a well-run ship they had. How did this exist?
Yeah, I love it, bro. And the thing I love too is just when Jordan Belfort's narrating, and sometimes he just says random things, and he's just like, "That's off topic. Back to it." I think that just really shows like. It makes you feel like you really are a part of what's happening. Like you're really watching what was happening here, because that's how his brain works.
Yeah.
It's all over the place. It felt like he needed to tell you that this dude died 2 years later.
Yeah.
From a heart attack. Hilarious. Anyway, back to it.
No big deal. So Ricky, we have established that in an alternate universe, when you were born in New York and likely ended up as a stockbroker somewhere on Wall Street or maybe nearby on Brick Street. Who in this movie do you relate to most?
Easy, bro. I'm Donnie. I'm doing Donnie activities, baby. Hey, Jonah Hill, Donnie. I want to be the guy, the hype man in the office. It's like, get back to work. Get this guy out of my office.
You eat the fish. You pee in the trash can.
Or when he argues with the dad, he's like, oh well, yeah, I mean that was a really important business expense. Yeah, we had to pay for the entertainment,
right?
Obviously, that was important. You spent $400,000 on sides. I mean, they were really good sides. What, did the sides cure cancer? Yeah, they actually did indeed cure cancer. That is what came with the sides. I mean, that's just how it happens.
That would just have a ton of snark in it. That was so funny. Oh my god!
Even Jonah Hill's character, he comes in as a weirdo. He's such a weirdo in the beginning.
Married to his cousin, and just like I had to, you know. She kind of got hot as she grew up. And what am I gonna do? Am I gonna let
anybody else?
I can't let anybody else sleep with her. So who's best to sleep with her but me? You know.
Apparently the real Donnie. This was like a real rumor that Jordan never knew if he really was married to his cousin or not. He just let it. He was like, I don't know. I don't care.
It's fine. Yeah, we got 2 kids. They're both fine. You're not worried at all? No, not really.
No, I mean, that could happen to anybody. Yeah. I don't know. You know, it's just so dumb. He's like, no, I'm just messing with you, man. Nah, it's the other thing I was messing with you about. Yeah.
This was unhinged. There was just so much going on in this movie
happening. What is a scene that you can remember that you were just like, this is too wild. Like, this is just so wild.
Oh man, I think when they're on the boat at the end, and it's like they're in the middle of a huge storm, and like everything bad that could happen happened all at the same time.
Yep.
Of the the woman who had the $20 million is Aunt Emma. She passes away. Meanwhile, we got to get back, like, Steve Madden's selling all the shares right now. Like, everything that could go wrong is going wrong right now.
And their plane that they were supposed to be on crashed,
exploded.
That's real. That genuinely I mean, he obviously didn't see it crash. That was
drama.
But like that legit happened. The plane that was his wake up call essentially.
Just all of that was going on, and I'm like, I cannot fathom how a single human being could let this go this far.
Yep.
And it reminded me a lot of, like, you know, we got, as you described at the beginning, we really do see the rise of an empire and the fall of it. And it was similar to, like, the progression seemed very similar to me of, like, Breaking Bad.
Mm-hmm.
Of you're watching the anti-hero and you're watching their rise and you're watching their fall through it. I just felt that same vibe through this. But even with Breaking Bad, there's a part of me that's like, how do you not stop? You have the money. You have the house. You have the kids. You have the model wife. You have everything. You have more than God ever intended for a single human being. And every single person in your company has this. How do you not stop?
Oh, yeah. And that's what he talks about that when he comes back in there to tell everybody that he's quitting. It's the ego. It's the, like, I've moved past. I have so much money. I don't know what to do with. I'll be fine if I leave right now for the rest of my life. At this point now, it's about the fact that I've built this empire and I want to keep the empire. It's the power. It becomes like more of like, forget the money. I have the power to just screw people.
It's just, I cannot fathom. Like, is this what happens with money? Like,
yeah, apparently. I mean, hey, when you find a way around the system to get it to do this.
But he didn't. He didn't the whole time. He had the government after him the entire time.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is he's technically always avoiding the government. It's not the company isn't what brings him down, because he was always finding his way around the SSC or whatever it is, like the SEC. He finds his way around it. It's the people that he sets up around him that screw him over. Mm-hmm. It's freaking Benihana is what ruins him. Benihana is what screwed over the Wolf of Wall Street. That also is a real thing. He didn't get caught only because of the Benihana situation. That's really what took him down.
Stupid Benny. It's just as they kept elaborating on it, because I knew going into it that almost all, like 95% of this movie is true. Everything that they kept ramping up on, I was just like, how is this even? First off, how is this even real? Yeah. And second, how did a human being let it get this far? Like,
yeah, all these things. Like, you can see video. Like, there's videos out there from the wedding. There's the infomercials that he did. You know, like that. Those kind of things. I mean, all this stuff happened. It's wild. And the other thing too with it is Jordan actually, like the real Jordan Belfort and Leo got lunch like all the time. Yeah. Like Leo hung out with him all the time just to pick up his mannerisms, to figure out what was real, what wasn't real, how he reacted, how he felt. Like he was, and he even asked him about all the drugs. He's like, how did these drugs react? Like, how did you react to them? And what? So that's why in all those scenes, they seem over the top, but that's just what he thought was going on. Like, you can tell anytime he starts taking drugs, even the camera is like the scenes become a bit more weird. Yeah. The camera angles change. They actually change the lenses. I don't know if you noticed that, but like when they're on drugs, it's like more detailed. You can see them like sweating and stuff like that.
Yes.
They change the camera lenses to get more of like the follicles and like the more in-depth weird like angles like that.
Man.
Just to show you like, no, he's tripping right now. This is what's happening.
And see, the research to do like the character work and actually meeting the real person, I think that is so cool. I want to be able to do that someday.
He's in the movie at the end when he's coming out on stage to his little seminar. The guy that's introducing him
is Jordan.
That's Jordan. That's the real Jordan Belfort.
Oh, that's awesome.
So like rewatch that and listen to how he talks and stuff, and you'll be like, yeah, Leo nailed that. Another cool thing, the Steve Madden. Mm-hmm. So the Steve Madden speech, right? Yeah. When he comes out, he's like, "We are animals." So that scene is co-directed by Steven Spielberg. What a random scene, right? So Steven Spielberg is a producer, one of the executive producers on the movie, and he was doing his annual checks, you know, just walking through the set, making sure everything's good. And he showed up for that scene and noticed, hey, big day. Lots of people on set. What's going on?
Yeah.
Martin Scorsese's like, oh yeah, we got this big scene, whatever, if you want to come watch, sure. And then he said, basically what Martin Scorsese said, he's like, that scene essentially is all co-directed by him because he kept stopping the scenes from happening. And he was like, check the camera angles here. You should be doing this. You should be doing that. Like that was just a co moment for the both of them. They directed the whole scene together. Imagine, dude, imagine you're just an extra, right?
Yeah.
You're already on set with Jonah Hill,
Leonardo DiCaprio,
Martin Scorsese, and then Steven Spielberg comes walking in and is telling you what to do.
Big day.
I'd be losing it. I'd be pooping my pants. I'd be like, you want me to get naked? Am I naked? I don't know. I don't know if I'm not or not. I don't know. You tell me. What am I doing? I'd be so overwhelmed. I'd be like, I don't know, bro. I just was told to say the F word and flip everybody off.
Yep.
Those are the best scenes for me too, is when like they're giving their speeches and like cuts to the crowd and they're like, yeah. It's so dumb.
I loved the energy from the extras throughout the movie. Like the extras really stand out every time we go into the office because you could look through the whole thing and there's something ridiculous happening at every single pixel.
Somebody's yelling, yeah, just flipping you off. F you. Or when Steve Madden's like, hey guys, I'm here to present. They're like, shut up. They throw shoes at him. It's the dude who's about to make you millions of dollars and you're just like, get off the stage. Yeah.
They hated him.
They don't care what he has to offer. They just care about the money.
I think that was the scene I was like, what is happening? Mm-hmm. Why are they? He's going to make them so much money. Why are you yelling at him?
Steven Spielberg, man, he said, I like it. Everybody yell at him. We hate him.
Everyone yell at him for some reason. I mean, it was great. It was extremely enthralling. Oh my God. Yeah, this very good choice. Very good choice.
It's definitely a movie I look back on whenever we're in movies and we're seeing a lot of chaos going on. I think to myself, is this controlled chaos like Wolf of Wall Street? Because that's what it is too. It's a lot of controlled chaos that moves the narrative along, and it's always getting crazier. Mm-hmm. Like when we're at that party, the beach house party where he meets Margot Robbie. Like when they even have the idea of Steve Madden. Amazing. Like, dude, that whole scene with Jonah Hill when they're like, oh, hold on, right now is when the Quaaludes are going to kick in. Steve Madden. All that, too. You can see videos of that on the internet. Like, that was all filmed. So they just filmed that party. You can find video clips of Jordan Belfort just throwing money off the roof of his house.
Man, I want to see this alternate universe where you got to be a part of that.
Dude, right? What a time this had to be to know this man in real life.
Man. I'm like lost for words, man. That movie was. I'm really glad I saw it finally. I knew I would love it.
Yeah,
it's just the thing for me is always the 3 hours.
It's a
these
long
movies, bro.
Movie,
but luckily with this one, as soon as it started, I was hooked the entire way in.
Yeah,
but there's a lot of movies that really struggle to do that. Right out of the gate, especially when they're trying to do 3 hours. Like, ugh.
Yeah, I'm hooked the entire movie. Mm-hmm. Like the whole time, I'm just watching it. Like even at home watching it, I was like glued to it. Because usually I might be doing something else or whatever. But this movie, I was like, yeah, this is awesome. I put it on the TV because Krista was just like sitting on the couch, and I was like, I mean, I'm halfway through this movie, but do you want to finish it with me? Like, because I kind of want to watch it. She's like, sure.
Yeah.
She knows. She's heard me always reference it. I even asked her.
Had she not seen it?
Oh, no. I had a disrespectful moment where I was like, you've seen this, right? And she's like, I've been married to you for how long now? Do you think, like, we've been together for like 7 years. Do you really think I haven't seen this movie? And I was like, yeah, you're right.
It's probably the first date.
Point. Yeah, that's a great point. I've definitely shown you this movie a couple times.
Yeah. Oh, man. How did we do the rating at the end of last week when we did this? Last week feels like a year ago.
Yeah. I think we just basically gave it a honest review.
Okay. All right.
I think, well, you gave yours your 100 and you just said, you know why you love the movie. And then I gave it a temporary 100, but 99 only because something. There was something I was mad about.
We still did it normally. I couldn't remember if we changed anything up. All right.
I was mad about the stupid names.
Oh, last week?
Yeah, the names.
Luckily, the names this week, they were solid.
Easy names, Jordan.
Easy names that make sense. They're perfect. All right, all of the. What I've noticed with the certified banana episodes, they're like frothing out the mouth in the doorway. Wow, they're like rabid. I didn't even say they could come in, and they're just rushing in now. Okay, wow. All right. Okay, they're all right. Apparently, they all watched it as well.
Hey, chill out.
This is, I mean, if you've seen
crazy.
the movie, just imagine that office. That is what's happening in my house right now.
They found a bag of sugar and they are now pounding it.
Yep.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, they.
Wow, where'd you guys all get these suits?
Banana, Minnie Mouse, Baraki.
Okay.
IPO, Steve Madden.
What? $4 grand, see? Okay. Well, all right. All right. Well,
Yeah, they want you to invest.
they want me to.
They're learning.
Bro, I can't do this. I don't have the money.
Penny stocks.
How do you end up with a cold call from someone asking you to spend several $1,000s on something, and you go, yeah, I could do that right now. Done.
Yeah.
Those scenes, hold on, minions. We'll come back to you. Those scenes at the very beginning as they're showing the cold call system, that seems completely fake to me. And I know it isn't.
All real. That's actually Martin Scorsese that he's doing that cold call with.
Oh, that he's talking to?
Yeah. That's Martin Scorsese who's on the other end.
I love
I gotta
that.
talk to my wife. He's like, no, listen. So that is kind of his whole motto on why he was the way he was and the way he does his sales. He talks about it with the pen thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the sell me this pen. It's not that he's trying to tell you, he's not ever telling you the value that this has or the whatever. It's you need money.
Mm-hmm.
I know how to make you money.
Yeah.
Is what his whole motto is. It was the same thing with the pen. It was, I'm not going to sit here and tell you how good this pen is. It's the best pen I've ever had. It'll last you 10 years. It's, you need a pen. I have a pen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to sell you pen.
Yeah.
Like, that's why, that's like always been his whole motto. And that's just like the fair way to do it. But with all these people, he's trying to do that same approach, but instead he was just like lying out of his teeth. This is lying through his teeth. And he knows that he's going to make the money.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing. It's just he's profiting, not them.
Yeah.
He just never makes them sell. Just keep investing.
Just keep investing. Yeah, you never realize you never realize the wealth. It's never real.
Yep.
Oh man. Okay, all right.
Broken system.
Broken system. Great system. Cool gambling economy. Love it. All right, let's do the certified banana.
Yep.
Okay, all right. Calm down. All right, they're just a ton of them are in the back just snorting something. I'm not going to pay attention to that.
It's sugar. I see it. It's brown sugar actually, funny enough.
Do you want
Yeah, I mean, for me it's easy. It's 100 for me, but it's just my favorite movie. I totally get why this movie isn't people's favorite, and I totally get why it is. That's the beauty of entertainment.
Yeah,
we all get to have our own dang opinions. But anyways, no, for me it's 100 because I love watching it. There's always something new to me. I've said this so many times. I love a movie where I can feel the passion in it.
Yeah,
where you can feel like all the actors genuinely enjoyed working on it. And this movie is a prime example of that because you're not going to get most people to do a movie that's 3 hours long. It's all degenerate. You know what I mean? Like that's not something that people want to be a part of.
Yeah.
Because it's it dampens your name.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that aspect of it. I love seeing the rise and the downfall of this man. I love seeing just how crazy he is and just his mindset is just so messed up. But it's so wild that like it worked.
Yeah.
It baffles me. It baffles me how much he got away with.
Yeah.
So there's just so many aspects of the movie. And on top of it, I like Martin Scorsese. I think he's a great director. A lot of the stuff he does. And Leo is my favorite. So it just encompasses all my faves in it.
Yeah. We definitely do have a bias towards Leonardo DiCaprio.
Leonardo DiCaprio's great.
He's fantastic.
He's so good.
I love him. I want more of him.
I love anything he does. He's always, and his range in this movie is insane. Like there's times where you feel so terrible for the guy, you empathize with the guy, you root for him. Like at the beginning, you're like he's gonna make it, but then you're like, nope, he's made it, but he's a jerk.
Yep.
But there's just so many there's so much range that he has, man, and even the faces he's making, like, oh man, I love his speeches. His speeches are just so good.
Yeah, I think that I mean, I know you said that most of this is improvised, but the writing and the progression through this movie was very well executed. I felt like it's 3 hours for a reason. The whole thing, everything is very intentional. There's not a single moment through this movie that doesn't feel relevant or throws you off during it. Mind you, there's so much happening through the whole thing.
Yeah, but it always grows.
Yeah. But all of the actors, like all the main actors who were involved in this, man, I loved all of them. They were so interesting.
Huge cast. Random cast, too. Like,
yeah.
Kevin Feige is in it. Or no, not Kevin Feige.
Jon Favreau.
Jon Favreau's in it.
He's just in it out of nowhere.
Like Spike Jonze is in there somewhere. Like, there's just random people all throughout.
And even with like some of the main characters or supporting characters who were like, they were not named actors. I'd never seen them before. Like the guy who's wearing a toupee the entire movie.
Never heard of him.
I don't know who the guy is. He was hilarious. I thought he was so funny every time he was on screen.
Yeah, he's awesome.
All of the like random degenerate businessmen who helped found who helped found the company. Every time they showed up, I'm like, these guys are awesome. These guys are killing it.
They're hilarious. They're just random people.
Yeah. I do think the only thing through this movie, I mean, there's a ton of cussing. I don't care about cussing anymore.
Has the world record, actually. Most swears in a movie.
That's great.
It's like over like 700 or something like that.
Yeah, I feel that. That's definitely true. But like, I don't care about the cussing and the drugs and the alcohol that much. The only thing that catches me off guard with some of these more over-the-top movies is the nudity. And the sex through it. That's the only thing I could probably knock this movie on, is just like, that's a little overwhelming. Like, that being said, as a man, you watch it and you're like, that's great. This is great.
What's happening here? Yeah.
But then as a person, you're like, I don't know if I needed that to be there in the movie I'm watching with my friends or with my significant other.
It does make it hard to watch in a crowd, right?
Yeah, I don't like them. I don't like when I'm watching a movie and it feels icky to me when I'm watching it with someone else. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like when we saw, going back to Babylon.
That's just because we were raised in religious households.
I mean, probably a bit, but also like, there's just something weird about it, man.
Yeah, I get it. You can't watch it on a plane, like, you know?
Yeah, you can't. Because and
it's a perfect movie to watch on a plane because it's 3 hours.
3 hours. It's perfect. Can't watch it. Can't watch it. Because like with Babylon, I remember being in the theater and there was one other couple in there, and it was an older couple, and I'm like, I cannot believe I'm watching this with these people right behind me. Like,
imagine this movie. This movie also came out on Christmas, David. I was working the day this movie came out. There were families for this.
That's hype.
It was
That's
hilarious.
Great. That's great.
This is the most refunds I'd ever given out.
Really?
Ever. Oh, bro. That's another reason why this movie probably holds a special place to me, is that I worked at the theater when this movie came out, like the movie theater, and I was there when it like first came out, and I just remember all the complaints that people had because it was just because we're near Sun City. It's all old people. And, no knock on all people, but they typically lie on the side of, I don't like the F word in my movie. Yeah. But, the scenes, it opens the movie very strong when we're doing drugs out of, holes of the body. That scene alone right there.
What an elegant way to put it.
Yeah, that scene right there. We always knew. We were like, all right, just let us know when that scene comes on so we can get somebody ready to just do refunds. Sure enough, have a line of people waiting to just get their refund.
Immediately.
Cussing me out, little 17-year-old Ricky just cussing him out because I put all that stuff in the movie.
Yes, you did it.
And I'm like, yep. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, no, I got paid to work with Leo, and I still work minimum wage here at the movie theater. Thank you.
I'm flattered that you think they paid me to be involved with that project, but in fact, it was a passion project for me, so I didn't take anything.
Crazy that people would even ask for refunds from a movie. They'd finish the whole movie and be like, I want my refund. I didn't like it. And it's like, bro, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's art. You didn't like it. Sure. You paid for it. Whatever.
I mean, we saw Don't Worry, Darling, and I didn't ask for a refund on that, like
wild that people ask for refunds in this movie theater.
Yeah, that's I've never thought about that. That's crazy. But
sorry, I interrupted your
No, it's okay. It's okay.
I had to tell you
I love that.
My love for this. I had the movie poster for the longest time.
Oh yeah?
Back when I had movie posters. I'll find a picture of it. I'll show you.
Is that just porn? Is that just a nudie poster on your wall?
It's just Leo's butt.
Yeah, that's what from this movie that we want on the poster, right? Yeah. No, I think that is the only thing I could knock this movie for. That being said,
I get that.
It's not, to me, it's not like a huge deal because I think this movie's fantastic. But if I did knock it for anything, that's the only thing. But that said, it's like, it's fine. It's not a huge deal. But people, when you're watching this movie, you gotta brace yourself.
You gotta just get over the hump. No pun intended.
So to speak. Yes.
You just gotta ride the wave.
Right. But yeah, I really like this movie.
Let me hear it. I can handle it. Just because it's my favorite doesn't mean it has to be a hundo.
I think it'd be a 95 for me. Just because there are those moments of just too much over the top.
Oh, it's over the top. But
it's still like, it's amazing. That's the only thing I could knock it for, but it's so much obscenity that it's like,
yeah.
All right, this is much. This is too much. But it starts and ends strong, and the whole body of the movie is actually like, there's not a single moment that like slowed down at all. I was entertained the entire time.
Yeah, it's constant go.
Yeah, but it's just those moments that I was like, I live alone, but I looked over my shoulder like, no one else is here, right?
Is my mom gonna walk in?
Yeah, is my mom gonna walk in? Can't watch this with the family, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, but yeah, 95 for me. I mean,
that.
it was a great choice.
It's a good movie. It's a lot.
Yeah.
I think if I were to ever get into acting, I would want to be like Leo from this. Like, I would just want to have a movie where I just go absolutely buck wild.
You would do really well with that.
I would love it, bro. I love it. The movie, like, it's not. That's the crazy thing too. It's not inspiring, but the way he acts, I'm like, gosh, man, like that's so good.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't even get into this, but that was one thing with this movie, was wondering, what am I supposed to take away from this? Money bad.
Money's very bad.
Money bad, but like,
it's story. I mean, I don't even think there's much of a moral compass. It's just a story.
Just a good story.
A wild story that was allowed to happen and went on for a while.
Yep. Yep.
Wild.
Well, bro, you picked a great movie this week. I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, thank you. This is a good series. Certified Banana. We'll probably get back to it eventually, but yeah, we'll some bangers coming out soon.
Yeah, we'll do more of them, but I'm finishing up. I'm finishing up performances right now. It's just been busy, and nothing interesting was coming out anyway.
Transformers isn't out yet. So.
Golly, dude.
Rise of Beast, baby, be ready. I mean, Little Mermaid comes out soon, but like.
I'm sure something interesting I think comes out next week. I can't remember what.
Well, it doesn't really matter, bro. I'm telling you, Transformers: Rise of Beasts is gonna be the hottest movie of the year.
Are we gonna watch that just over and over and over again, bro?
Oh, dude, I'm ready. I could get episodes. Yeah, I'm excited to do another Certified Banana eventually. I have a lot more movies I want to show you.
Yeah, bro, this was a good idea. Thank you for coming up with this Certified Banana idea. This has been
fun.
2 solid movies.
Now you got to find movies that define your life.
True. Yeah. We should try to do themes off of them when we do it again. Like, this was just favorite movies, or I guess our favorite Leonardo DiCaprio movie.
Really is more just our favorite Leo.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. But we could try to do that next time of like themes, maybe. I don't know.
I got other movies to show you. I mean, Secret Life of Walter Mitty. That's, mwah.
Oh yeah, you told me about that. Yeah. Well, with that, thank you guys so much for listening to Straight Dude Date Night. We do hope you enjoy. We're going to get back to normal episodes next week, ideally.
Or not. It's our show.
Yeah, it's our show. We can do whatever we want. But if you want to influence us, you can try the Cash App Ricky to try and bribe him. That will usually work.
Yeah, I'll have my Cash App posted out there somewhere.
Yep.
You can go ahead and just send me X amount of dollars, and depending on how much you send me, I'll be persuaded to follow your suggestion.
Potentially, yep.
I'm not going to put a dollar limit on. You're just going to have to guess.
I think $60K is where he stands
with nudity. So
with nudity, if
with
your request
Leo,
doesn't-
of course.
right. If your request has anything to do with nudity with Leo, it's $60K minimum.
60K min. I mean, that's not min, but you know, that's a good starting point. I guess. I mean, I'll take less.
Oh my gosh.
Being a movie, sure, sounds fun.
If you want to support us, be sure to follow us on Spotify, on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, on Apple Podcasts. Review us, tell your friends about us, subscribe on YouTube, all that stuff. We're everywhere and just, doing our thing. So we are glad you enjoy. Ricky?
David?
I really can see you as a Wall Street crazy person now.
Oh, dude,
you've really opened up that alternate universe for me.
Oh, dude, I would have been thriving in this company.
I would have never thought about that, but you're totally right.
I would be the one conducting I would just be like, yo, I don't even want to sell anything. Just pay me X amount of dollars and I will run all the debauchery in this office.
Yeah, we need a debauchery coordinator. That's Ricky Rivera.
Me. I could easily do it.
Easy. Thank you guys so much for listening. We do hope you enjoy. Have a great week and have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.